Hello everyone, welcome to Fast Track on Herald Global. I am Saimik Sen. Joining us today, a very renowned former snooker champion, Mr. Yasin Marchant. Thank you so much for taking out this time for us. Welcome to Herald Global.
Thank you.
So I would like to begin by asking you, how was your experience after being ranked number 1 at the Asian Amateur Circuit?
That's been a long time ago. It's always a good experience to be the best in the field that you are involved in. And fortunately, I got a chance to be Asian champion not once, but twice.
Yes.
And I was also ranked the second highest Asian professional in the world after a Thai player. So the experience is, of course, exhilarating. You feel very good. You feel like what you set out to achieve, you're almost there. So it's a great feeling.
True. During those times, how you used to prepare for the tournament?
There is a routine. There is a regular, disciplined schedule which you have to follow. 4 to 6 hours on the table. Eat right, sleep on time, look after your eyes because they're your biggest asset, and be involved with the sport. When I used to play at the professional circuit in England, even when I was not playing my matches, I would go and watch the other top players perform. It does inspire you, it motivates you to see where they have reached and what you could do better, and then talking to them as to what are their routines, how do they improve their game, what is it that they don't do during a tournament, how do they prepare for a tournament. All these things then get added to your routine as well. So that's the kind of preparation one does.
So you have played with so many stalwarts. So do you remember any particular match which was very special to you?
Yes, I do remember one particular match where that was a World Championship qualifying tournament, the World Professional Championship qualifying tournament. And at that time, I had just joined. I was in my second year as a pro. Sure. And I was ranked somewhere in the 200 because there were over 1,000 professionals that time. So I just moved up a little in the ranks. And I was up against a player who was ranked number 21 in the world. It was a game where it was the best of 17 frames. The first to reach 9 wins that match. I had a very poor start and I was 8-1 down. 8-1 down.
Okay.
And somehow I managed to turn that match around and managed to beat that guy who was ranked about 180 places above me.
Oh, wow.
I beat him 9-8, and that was considered to be the greatest comeback for that particular season, winning 8 frames in a row against a player that ranked that much higher than you.
Okay.
So on the pro side, that was considered to be quite a comeback, and that was a memorable match. There are many other such matches, but it's difficult to remember all those. Yeah.
How you used to handle your fame being a champion?
The easiest way to handle your fame, I would say, is to think that you are on the journey of success and the journey is never ending. You've never arrived. Okay. And there are always many more mountains to conquer.
Sure.
And each step taken with humility, each step taken with purpose to achieve more, to step forward, and to keep adding to your kitty, to keep adding to your glory. I think it's a question of desire, sense of purpose, coupled with complete modesty and humility. Once you feel you've reached, then you stop learning. So it's a continuous process. You are a student all your life. That's the only way to progress.
Which has been the most challenging tournament for you?
Yes. The best tournament which I would quote to people has been my first Asian Championship, which I won in Delhi, because it was held in New Delhi only. And I was India number 2 at that time. I was not the national champion. I was the runner-up in the national. So I went in as number 2, unseeded, completely unseeded. And my first match was drawn up against a player from New Zealand. In the Asian Championship at that time, New Zealand and Australia were allowed to participate because they did not have a separate championship. So it was like an Australasia tournament. So my first match in Delhi, and I was only 22 at that time. I had invited all my friends to come and watch in Delhi. And the President of India had come for the inauguration. So he was sitting and he was watching the match. And the first match turned out to be such a disaster for me that I left the arena crying because I had lost to the player who had won. That was the only match which he had won in the entire tournament. Okay. We were 9 of us in one group. There were 4 groups like that. We were 9 of us and each had to play the other. That person from New Zealand, Grant Hayward was his name. That was the only match he won. He beat me. And I had played probably my worst match ever. But I was still in the group. So, and I had a day's break. the next day I didn't have a match. So I was completely demoralized and I was making plans to come back to Bombay at that time. I said, I'm not fit to play in this event and I've already humiliated myself in front of the President of India, all my friends and everything. So I called up my father, who was like my mentor to me. And he says, don't worry, just finish out the tournament. The worst that can happen is you will lose the next 8 matches again. You lose the next 7 matches. Just play it out. It's not correct manners that you just leave a tournament halfway and come away. So that's all I decided to do. But then I said that if I've got to play, I might as well improve a little. So that one break day that I had, I saw a movie called Chariots of Fire.
Yes,
I don't know if you've heard of the movie
Yes,
Chariots of Fire.
definitely.
It's
I
about
watched it. Yeah.
the Olympians over there. And I watched the movie and I said, let me go and practice. I went to practice. I went to a club. I went and I did not play with anybody. I just practiced solo, was working on my shots. My next day's match was against the top seed of the tournament, the Thai guy. I beat him. Now, all of a sudden, the game turned. I started winning. Then when I reached the quarters, I was playing the third seed of the tournament. In the semis, I played the second seed. And in the final, I again played the same top seed guy whom I'd beaten in the group earlier.
Okay.
There also, I was down by about 6-4, and the first to 8 wins the title. That's when I had a comeback, and from a complete disaster to hero of the moment, because it was in Delhi, so I became a hero overnight. And the match went live and everything. At that time, live snooker was a big thing. This is 1989. So I would rate that to be my best comeback tournament ever.
Of course. Amazing, actually. Apart from snooker, what are the other hobbies that you pursue?
Oh, I write. I used to write for magazines and newspapers. I used to write for the Times of India. I used to write for Midday. Then I was the columnist for a snooker magazine called Pot Black, which was published in UK. So I was the Asian angle for that magazine. I read a lot. I gym. Now I'm coaching. I coach a lot now. So I've completely retired from the sport in the last 10 years now, and I've become a coach. I've formed an academy. I've got about 150 students under me. So consider that to be a hobby, passion, whatever. But I have my own business as well. A manufacturing business. I tend to work as well. And whatever free time I get, I dedicate to give back to the game, which has given me so much. That's my life as of now.
So from the layman perspective, billiards and snookers, it sounds the same for many people.
Yeah.
So can you give us a difference between the two sports?
Okay, they're played on the same table, billiard and snooker. Actually, it's called a billiard table only, on which snooker is also played. Incidentally, snooker was invented in India in 1875, in Ooty. So billiards is a game which is played with only 3 balls. There is a yellow, there is a white, and there is a red. And the rules of the game are different. Snooker is played with 22 balls. There are 15 reds. Then there are colors: yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, and black. Every time you take a red, you've got to cover it up with a color. Every color has different points marked to it. When the reds keep going into the pocket, the reds don't come back, but the colors have designated spots, so they keep coming back. Once the reds are over, then you've got to take the colors in sequence. Whoever scores the maximum points, that person wins. In billiards, it's a little different. It's a little complicated to explain over the phone like this.
You have been in this field for a very long time. So according to you, what kind of change has taken place from then till now?
I won't say much change has taken place. There could have been much more that could have happened. We could have had an explosion, a boom. I would say the best period for snooker and billiard was the 90s. And fortunately for snooker, I was at the top at that time, and for billiard, Jeet Sethi was at the top. So 90s and early 2000s, they were very good for Indian snooker. There were a lot of tournaments and a lot of achievements happening at that time, and people had started taking cognizance of this game, and there were a lot of pool parlors which had sprung up across the country. More so in Bombay as well, in Mumbai. But because of some tax levied by the government, those parlors, then they shut down. And you can always pick out talent from the grassroots. From those pool parlors, champions could have emerged. I think we lost that opportunity, because of which we have only one Pankaj Advani to talk of now. There could have been 10 such Pankaj Advanis. When one Yasin Merchant went away, Geet Sethi went away, then Pankaj Advani came up. It's just been single person driven sport. There should have been many more. We lost the opportunity. Then television coverage could have been definitely better. We now rely on Facebook live streaming. Which is not the done thing. Look at tennis. look at cricket.
Of course.
You get to see them on sports channels on television. So that's the only way. Till the time the game doesn't reach the drawing rooms of people, it's not going to happen. That it's not going to become popular with the masses. So
Sure.
that particular change which we expected did not happen. So the 80s to the 2020s, we are very much there only. There hasn't been a complete leap forward. That's what I can say.
What are your suggestions in terms of like, what the government should do to like promote this game, how it can be achieved?
Okay. Firstly, we have to get rid of this image that snooker is an elitist game. Okay. People, whenever you talk about snooker to a layman, he always starts looking at it from the point of view that, oh, that game which we see the villain in the Hindi movies playing. Okay. And it's always associated with a vice, with a villainous look to it. It's not. It's a proper sport. Okay. In China, you have millions of people playing. Millions. Okay. So that image firstly has to be destroyed. I don't know exactly which concrete steps can be taken. Maybe we need to work harder on promoting our achievers, our celebrities today. Maybe we need to take the sport to the schools, because that's where you could develop young talent. That's what China is doing. China has developed their talent through school children. And once you find a little potential in that particular child, see to it that he gets an opportunity to go and play in the best of academies in China,
Sure.
in Thailand, in UK, or put him under a coach in India. See to it that his days are not wasted. Convince the parent that this too is a sport which can get you rewards. Increase the rewards from the government. We face a lot of problems when we travel for tournaments and then the expenses are not reimbursed in time.
Okay.
Then if you won some titles, then the compensation, the reward for those titles, they take a very long time to come in, because of which the parents start thinking, I might as well make my son an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer, or maybe a cricketer.
Maybe some other
Why
sport,
should I put him into, or some
Yes.
other sport? Why would I put
Yeah.
him into snooker?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things like that. Academies should come up. There should be more permissions given for parlors. Of course, they should be regulated, because parlors can become dens for gambling and vices as such. But if they're regulated or controlled, I'm sure they can be used to develop talent. Coaches could be invited from abroad, come and teach us, come and coach us. Players should be sent from here to academies in UK. Lot of things can be done. A proper junior development program should be initiated. People, let's say the think tank of Indian Q Sports, should be involved in it. Let's get together. Let's decide what is to be done to revive the sport or to take it forward. That step has not been taken yet.
Okay. So according to you, what attributes are required to master this sport?
Physical attributes, you've got to be reasonably fit, because games go over 5 hours, 6 hours. So you've got to be fit. Physical stamina leads to mental stamina. If you're physically tired, you won't be able to concentrate. Good eyesight definitely needed. Ball sense needed, which is there in most games where the ball is used, tennis, cricket. So ball sense is needed as to how a round ball behaves.
Sure.
That's very important. Like for example, in golf, if you're putting, if you're rolling the ball along the grass, how is the ball going to deviate, or how's the grass going to affect? Similarly, on a snooker table, you have the cloth has a little nap which can move the white accordingly.
Okay.
So ball sense is important, and most important is I would say desire. Like in any sport, desire to excel, desire to succeed, and a never say die attitude. Even if you're in your worst position, you've just got to believe in yourself. That as I told you about that tournament that I played, I
Yes.
was a complete disaster, but I turned it around to make it my biggest victory. That was my first international title. And then I happened to reach 3 other finals after that, winning one more after this. So it's the never say die attitude that could be inborn, or that could be inculcated through your parents, through your friends, through your coaches, through your colleagues, your well-wishers, basically, who
Sure.
want to see you succeed. So surround yourself with people who are achievers or who are catalysts for your success. These are the factors needed, I feel.
Okay. What would you like to tell the aspiring players who are coming up now?
I would tell the aspiring player, firstly, decide on what you want in life. Okay, if you've taken up this sport, it could mean because you love the sport. Don't take it up because you want to become successful and become a star. First, learn the game, start enjoying the game. Performances will come. Try to excel. Try to please yourself. Try to satisfy your own standards. Set high standards for yourself, then try to reach those standards. Pleasing other people is a byproduct. If you've set high standards, if you pleased yourself, surely the spectator, the general public is going to be pleased.
Sure.
They will make you the star. You don't walk towards becoming the star. Lot of people today join fields because they want success. Success is never overnight. You've got to work through it. Be prepared, and more advice could be prepared for hardship, be prepared for sacrifices. A youngster will have to probably sacrifice a lot of his friends, a lot of his parties, a lot of his travel plans may have to go if there is a tournament, if he's preparing for a tournament, and the willingness to learn. Keep an open mind, talk to people, read about it, get involved in the game completely. Eat, drink, sleep, snooker. That's the only way out. That's the only way to success. That's my motto. That's my mantra.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Martin. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.